He bought powder at $4,200 per kilo and sold it for over $50,000 per kilo. The profit was staggering. With this wealth, he built a private army, quickly becoming New York's biggest kingpin. He was called a crime boss who surpassed the Italian mafia by 100 years. Frank Lucas. He invented the body transport method. With the Vietnam War raging, Frank took all his savings and went to Vietnam to buy powder. He bribed American military pilots and hid the powder inside coffins of fallen American soldiers, then smoothly shipped it back to the US. At his peak, he earned $1 million a day. To secure his position, after becoming rich, Frank began building his private militia, spending huge amounts to bribe the US military and police, ensuring his business stayed prosperous. Frank had multiple identities, including family man, philanthropist, and community leader. Now let's see how this legendary kingpin rose to power. Harlem, New York, 1968. In this neighborhood full of ordinary black residents, Johnson, as a gang leader, was personally handing out turkeys on the street. In the crowd, Frank quietly stood in the back, gazing with admiration at the man he devoted his life to. But then one day, he suddenly passed away. At the funeral, everyone present owed him money. Now that their creditor was dead, they all secretly rejoiced. Without the boss's protection, Frank was treated worse than a dog, becoming a laughingstock. But at this moment, Frank's eyes weren't sad. Instead, sharp with rising ambition, he decided to be the next boss, to truly hold power. But to succeed in New York, fists alone weren't enough. He needed to sell powder. Back then, the entire New York powder market was completely controlled by the Italian mafia. To bypass their control, there was only one way: find the source himself. To the legendary Golden Hell, the Golden Triangle in Southeast Asia, coincidentally during the Vietnam War. More importantly, he had a distant relative serving in Vietnam. This became his breakthrough moment. Frank flew alone to war-torn Vietnam, stepping onto a deadly path. Using family connections, Frank finally met high-level contacts, a Chinese gentleman fluent in English, who had a very high status in the Golden Triangle. This time Frank went straight for the kill, ordering 100 kilos of high-purity powder at $4,200 per kilo. On American streets, it could sell for $50,000 per kilo. But now the problem was how to get it to New York. Official channels were impossible. Finally, he devised an unbelievable plan: hide the goods in coffins of fallen U.S. soldiers. Thousands of U.S. soldiers had died in Vietnam. Every month the military flew special planes, transporting fallen soldiers home. The special status of military aircraft made them untouchable. No one dared or could inspect them. Frank saw this opportunity clearly, quietly creating a secret supply route. At the same time, he spread money around, building powerful connections, feeding greed with cash, making his dark supply line unbreakable. Soon a new powder called Blue Magic appeared on New York streets. It had a purity level of 98%, yet sold for half the price of others. High quality, low price, instantly dominating the market. He earned up to $1 million daily. With money, Frank brought poor relatives from his hometown to his own territory. He knew their value wasn't strength, but loyalty. Frank copied the Italian mafia's methods, building his empire on family bonds, creating an army connected by blood loyalty to assert authority. He showed no mercy. In front of all relatives, he eliminated a rival. When the shot rang out, not only his enemy fell, fear also gripped the hearts of all his relatives. Frank became a prominent